Let's return to our top story now. MTN has been slapped with a massive fine by the Nigerian Communications Commission. We're now joined by the CEO of Worldwide Works, Arthur Goldstuck. Arthur, we had trouble hearing you before on Skype, so let's chat over the telephone. $5.2 billion, 70 billion rand. You were saying that this figure does sound shocking.
It is, because if you consider that MTN's revenue for the whole of last year was something like $12.4 billion US, or the equivalent thereof. And in terms of Nigerian naira, naira is 200 naira to the dollar. It's a trillion naira, and I don't think Nigerians have ever heard that kind of number quoted in terms of any kind of fine in their country. Even in the global telecommunications landscape, that's massive. And when earlier this afternoon I tweeted the news, the response from most Nigerians on Twitter was of disbelief, assuming I got it wrong, assuming it was a joke, some assuming I was talking about a different currency and not US dollars. So that gives an indication of just what a shock it is to people. But the other side of the story is Nigerians are now piling on board and saying that that kind of fine should be applied for poor service. There's been numerous complaints about poor quality of service in Nigeria, and in fact, 2 years ago, MTN was fined 90 million naira by the regulator in that country. This particular fine is something like 200,000 naira per SIM card that was not cut off by MTN. It seems excessive. It's quite an excessive fine. And I think the negotiations between MTN and the regulator may well result in the amount of the fine being cut significantly.
Arthur, do we even know what MTN supposedly did? I know there have been complaints about service, about coverage. Also, apparently there was some process where everybody had to be verified, similar to our RECA process, but then it sounds like MTN was doing its work. Has there been any full explanation of why these disconnections happened?
In fact, it's exactly that resulted in the fine, that MTN were too late in cutting off people who weren't registered. That is exactly the same as the South African concept of RECA, that everyone had to be registered or had to be cut off. And the fine that was stated up front for failure to cut off unregistered SIM cards was 200,000 naira, and that's exactly what's been imposed on MTN now. But MTN is arguing that circumstances prevailing at the time haven't been taken into account, and they're going to engage with the regulator on that basis, which is why I assume that the amount of the fine will be cut. And again, for a fine of 200,000 naira per SIM card, when the complaints about quality of connections are far greater than the SIM card issue, you would expect there to be some kind of step in that fine.
Okay, so you're saying what other analysts are saying as well, surely it will come down, it just seems too high. MTN has chosen not to comment, which seems to me like atrocious crisis management, but then it does have to negotiate with this regulator. Do you think that's the tricky issue here?
I think that is part of the problem. I don't want to lash out in case we get further hammered. There are already question marks over how MTN revenues are diverted out of the country in terms of supposed management fees to avoid paying taxes on profits. So I think the regulator has been looking for a way to go after MTN. There's the quality of connection, there's the issue of profits being siphoned off in management fees, and now there's the non-compliance with SIM card cut-off. So it's almost like three strikes, and now you really are. But it seems like there's quite a fractious relationship between MTN and the regulator in that country. We're not hearing about other operators being fined, regardless of the amount of the fine. And MTN have issued a statement in which they've said they are in discussions with the Nigerian Communications Commission. So it does seem like they want to try to calm the waters before setting sail on those waters.
Yeah, I agree with you that the relationship sounds problematic, and that's huge for MTN anyway, because Nigeria is such a big market. Thank you so much for your analysis. The CEO of Worldwide Works, Arthur Goldstock, was speaking to us on the line. Time to look at the markets. The JSE closed slightly lower this Monday. World markets were mixed, generally down after China cut its interest rates again. Now, that will boost Chinese and world growth, but it has raised concern that China still under pressure. It's tried various methods to boost its economy. Are they working? Meanwhile, markets are eagerly awaiting the rate decision in the United States later this week. No rate cut expected at this stage. Here are your numbers.